Hello, White Tigers. It's Reverend Andy from St Barnabas Church here with some thoughts on the RE projects that you're looking at the moment. And I know that you're looking at special places. And I guess we all kind of have places that are special to us. I suggested when you pause the video, just think about what are the special places for you? What are those places that mean more than other places to you? Just pause the video and have a think. Maybe jot down a few of those special places that are special to you. Okay, so now you've done that, I want you to think also, why are those places special to you? There must be a reason why you think it's a special place or why it's important to you. So again, pause the video and just think for a few moments, why are those places special to you? What makes them important? Okay, hopefully you got a few more words there. I can think of a couple of places that are special to me. The first is a place called Whalley Abbey. It's in Lancashire, and it's partly the ruins of an old church, but also it's a conference centre where, as a young person, I used to go for weekends with other young people from churches. And it's a special place for two reasons. One, it's a special place where I began to understand what it meant to be a Christian as a young person, which makes it quite important for the people I met and all I learnt there. But also it's the first place where I met the woman who is now my wife. So that has quite a lot of significance in my life, although I've not been there for many years now. The second place I think that's important to me is a place called Scargill. It's a place in the Yorkshire Dales, just at the other side of Skipton. It's a place where there's a community of Christians who live together, share life together, worship together. They have their own amazing chapel up on the hillside with great views. Why is that important to me? Well, it's an important place in my life when I was wondering what God wanted me to do and the kind of thing he personally wanted me to be. Did he want me to be a vicar? Because I thought there was some calling in my life on that. And in that chapel there, that was a special time when I really met with God and heard God's voice urging me on and helping me to think about my future. So those are two of my special places and why they're special to me, and you've got yours, and maybe you can share at some point what those special places are to you and why they're special to you. And I know you've got a list of all sorts of special places in the Bible to look at as to why they're special. But to me, I think the whole thing about special places is to do with the people you meet there and what happens there. Most people have special places because of the people they meet and because something important has happened to help them to remember that place, to help them remember it, hopefully with joy. So I've got a story from the Bible, from Mark's Gospel, chapter 9, about a special place that Peter, James and John found with Jesus. So if you listen up, here's this story from the Bible. Peter was huffing and puffing. He and Jesus and James and John had just walked up a mountain. But before he could catch his breath, something strange happened. Suddenly, something never expected happened. Jesus started to shine. That's right, shine. And his clothes were like an advertisement for some brand new laundry powder, brighter than any bleach could make them. And that's not all. Moses was standing there with him. Moses, who'd led God's people out of Egypt. And Elijah, the prophet who stood up to King Ahab and faced down the prophets of Baal, he was there too. And even though Moses and Elijah had been dead for hundreds of years, there they were with Jesus. Now Peter was petrified. I mean, really, really petrified. What could he say? What could he do? So he just blurted out the first thing that popped into his head. Jesus, why don't we put up 3 shelters, 3 tents, three huts, one for you, one for Moses and one for Elijah, so we can remember this special moment. And that's when the cloud appeared, a cloud that surrounded them all. And out of the cloud came a voice. And Peter was more petrified than ever. "This is my son," said the voice. And there was no mistaking whose voice it was. "This is my son whom I love. listen to him. And then just as suddenly as everything had happened, it was over and Jesus was standing alone. So Peter was peaceful at last. And then Jesus led them back down the mountain. I don't want you to mention this to anyone, he said. Keep it to yourselves until after I have come back from the dead. And now Peter was puzzled. But then when he talked with Jesus, Peter was quite often puzzled. So that's the story. It's a story of another special place, top of a mountain where Jesus was changed, or what the Bible calls transfigured. The glory of God shone out of him. And Peter wanted to remember this special place, remember what happened, remember that Jesus was talking with two dead guys. He wanted to remember all that and mark it in a special way. So he wanted to build these 3 huts as a remembrance of where they were. But he wasn't allowed to. He came back down the mountain building no huts. And we're actually still unsure where that mountain is. We know it's a mountain somewhere in the land of Israel. We have a few ideas where it might be. There's 2 or 3 possibilities actually. But we're strange people because we want to know where these things happened and to mark them, even though Peter wasn't allowed to mark them. And so on one of those mountains, they built a church called the Church of the Transfiguration. And that's where most people seem to think it happened. We're funny people, really, because for somewhere to be special, we somehow feel we've got to mark it in some way, build it in some way, put a plaque up. But of course, it's not the place that's important. It's what's happened at the place, how that felt to us, what we experienced. That's what's important about the place. The place just helps us remember maybe a little bit more closely what happened. But in truth, quite often, the place is not important. I suspect Jesus could have met with Moses and with Elijah, with his 3 disciples, at any place. It didn't have to be on top of a mountain. It didn't have to be on top of that mountain. I suspect most of our special places, that the things that happen there, the people we met, are much more important than the place. But the place helps us to remember what happened. And remembering those special things and those special people helps us to remember the good things in our life, the important things in our life. So yes, treasure your special places. Maybe you visit them regularly, maybe you only go very occasionally. Treasure the special places. But more importantly with all those special places that you're looking at in the Bible, treasure the people you met there. Treasure what happened there. And remember that those experiences can happen anywhere, at any time, especially if God's involved. Stay safe. Enjoy the holidays, and hopefully I'll be able to see you soon at school. God bless.